In this screencast, I will demonstrate a technique for decolorizing an unimportant part of a raster image and emphasizing other areas with color in Inkscape version 0.46. So in other words, I'll attempt to colorize a black and white photo. This tutorial should be a quick one and a very basic one, perfect for the Inkscape novice. Also, Richard and I would like to send out a special thank you to Peter Carrero for letting us know what we needed to do to get our key status monitor working again in Ubuntu Intrepid. So thank you, Peter. Alright, let's begin. Okay, the first thing that I'm going to do is I need to bring in a digital photo, okay? And what I have is a digital photo sitting on my desktop. So what I'm going to do is left click from my desktop and drop it right off onto my canvas in Inkscape. Okay, and this is a photo of my kids taken several years ago in the fall. So I'll go ahead and use that as an example photo. And what I'm going to do is zoom out a little bit. What I want to do is basically digitize around this face, and make everything outside of the path black and white or grayscale. So let's get started. First thing that I'm going to do is zoom in on this first face. And I'm going to grab my Bezier tool and I'm just going to draw a path all the way around my face. And you don't have to worry about how accurate your path is because you're going to be zoomed out for one, and two, we can come back in and simplify the path so it's not quite so jagged. And it is a little tedious to go all the way around something. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and fill that in with black so I can see my path. Okay, and what we're going to do now is we're going to zoom in on this face. And I'll digitize around this one. Okay, I'll try to quicken this up a little bit. Okay, and I'll close that path and we'll fill it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And I'm going to select these paths individually and I'm going to hit Control L and that'll simplify the path. I'll just do that one time. The more that you hit Control L or do a simplify, your path gets rounder, and rounder. And basically what it does is eliminate some of the nodes on the path to simulate kind of a curvature. Okay, so I've done that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this picture 2 times. So I'm going to left click on this picture, right click, duplicate, left click, right click, and duplicate again. And I'm going to take my duplicated copy and I'm going to send it all the way to the back. I'm going to select it again and send that version all the way to the back. Okay, so both of my duplicated copies are sitting in the back. Now what I'm going to do is select my first image, or my object, I guess, my path, and then I'm going to hold my shift key down and select one of my duplicated pictures. I'm going to go to Object, Clip, Set. I'll do that again. I'll select my object over here, my image, by shifting and holding that down to select both, and then I'll go to Clip, Set, and then I have that one. So basically what I have is this. Okay, so I've just kind of drawn all the way around a face and then just kind of blown out the surrounding image. So I'll undo to put those back on, and I only have this one image left. Okay, so there's only one. I'll undo that. Okay, so our next trick is, how do we make this image back here black and white? Okay, now I just want to let you know that in the next release of Inkscape, I think it's version 0.47, there is a raster effect that you can apply to your image, which will convert it to grayscale. The problem is with that is once you do that, that is destructive, meaning that once you apply the effect, you can't turn the effect off or get back to your original. Okay, and that effect will be in the future located in your raster effects, and then you'll find a grayscale in there. It's not on this version of 0.46 yet, but not to worry, because I think I have a better method. And what I'd like to do is use a filter effect. And by using a filter effect, what we can do is the point of a filter effect is it's non-destructive, meaning that you can turn it off and get back to your original picture. So if we save it, come back a month from now, open it up, and we decide that, boy, I just don't like the black and white, I want the color back, we can just uncheck the filter and we'll get it back. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is set up a filter. So what I'm going to do is go to Object, Filter Effects, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so we can see it, and I'm going to go and add a new, and I'm going to click on this, and we'll call this grayscale. And what we need to do is find our color matrix, add the effect. I want to make sure that my dot or my node is on the source graphic. Okay, and I'm going to come down here to matrix. I'm going to select saturate, and I'm going to make that unit 0.02. It doesn't take very much. Okay, and what I'm going to do is highlight my image and then check my box. Okay, and it's that easy. If I want it turned off, I just uncheck and I'm back to the color again. So that's where all the magic happens in this filter effect. Okay, and that is basically it. Okay, so let me zoom in on that. Okay, and that's our screencast. So basically what I've done is I've digitized around a color image, an area which I want to save, which I want it to be colorized, and de-emphasized the surrounding image and made that black and white or grayscale. Now, this effect I've seen in 100 places on the internet, and mostly it's done. I've seen it in Photoshop, I've seen it in GIMP, never seen a Krita screencast doing this, but it's very easy to do in Inkscape, and it might even be faster. So that's pretty much the screencast, and I want to point out something. If you hit export right now, export bitmap, and you were to select drawing, basically what's going to happen is you're going to get everything that's drawn on your canvas and you're going to export that. Let's say, for example, you wanted that cropped. Well, there is a trick, and what you can do is go to File, Document Properties, And let me slide this back into view here. We can expose our border on top of our drawing. And I'm going to make that border white so we can see it. Maybe I should make it black. There we go. The opposite way. Okay, and by doing that, you actually see my page border coming through the image, so you know where my image is. Now, if I were to select my page border and make that a little bit bigger, let's say for example I wanted to make that 900 by 700. Let's see how big that would make things. We'll make that a little bit bigger. Let's go 1000 by 800. Okay, and what I'm going to do is grab everything here and I'm going to group this so I can move it. Okay, and I'm going to take this again, go to my align and distribute, and center that on my page. Okay, and basically when I do that, now when I export, I can export just what I see on my page. So in a sense, I can use my page border as a clipping border and clip out everything else that I don't want to see. So when I do that, I can go to export bitmap and only select my page, and then anything that's on my page or inside the border will be exported out to a PNG. So I just wanted to let you guys know of that little tip. So that is our screencast, and again, this was a very simple one, perfect for the Inkscape newbie out there. So thank you for watching. I'm Heathen X.